The Cybertruck is beginning to come out, we're seeing it on the back of trucks, and people are starting to wonder, what are the accessories going to be like for the Cybertruck? Now, we don't know a lot about this yet, but so far what we do know is there are some very just way out there, outlandish, crazy things that are being made for the Cybertruck. And today we're going to go over what those are, starting from $5,000 up to $69,000, so let's get started. First up comes in at a price of between $5,000 and $8,000, and that is an estimate because there actually isn't a price listed for these yet, but that comes from a company called Cyberwraps. And the reason why I'm guessing $5,000 to $8,000 is because when I did some research, that was the average price for wrapping a vehicle, and so I could be way off on that, but we're going to go with that for now. Now, this is something that I think a lot of people are going to jump on because they want to make their Cybertruck look not like, well, every other Cybertruck out there. Also, this is a DIY kit. So when you buy this from Cyberwraps, this is a you do it yourself thing. You can choose from glossy, matte, or chrome finishes with multiple color options in each of those categories. Now, there's a lot of different color options out there, but my question is going to be, how hard are these going to be actually to put on your vehicle? And if they're DIY, well, I've tried putting stickers on things before and it didn't turn out very well. So I have to see how this one kind of comes about. But there's some very cool looking colors out there, like this matte metallic Mars red, this gloss black, this matte tan, or this shade shifting gloss aurora. Next up, coming in at $5,992 to $6,795 are these new aftermarket wheels, the first of their kind, made by Unplugged Performance, and this is what they look like. Now, this came about as a collaboration between Unplugged Performance and a famous designer called Sasha. Now, they are made of forged 6061 T6 aerospace grade aluminum, and they come in sizes 20, 21, and 22. And I have to admit, they do look pretty sexy. Now, next up, coming at a price of $24,000, and here's where we start to get crazy out of this world. I mean, to the point of like, who is going to actually buy these things, and in some cases double the price of their Tesla? It's something called the Space Camper Wedge. Now, this goes along with the trend you see all over all the trucks today, on top of the SUVs, on the backs of trailers. And these are these pop-up tents, and to be honest, it looks pretty cool. So here's some of the features. It comes with an exhaust vent that helps moisture escape when you're cooking or taking a shower. It has keyless entry where the rear hatch latch locks automatically when pushed closed and opens when you partially lower the tailgate. It has cylinders on both sides, so you don't have to strain yourself to lift it up or try and balance the load that's on the roof. Speaking of that, it has roof runners with a universal L-track that allows you to be all kinds of customized on the roof as far as storage and carrying things. Your bed comes with an adjustable backrest, so you can adjust your position however you want, and that bed is also detachable, so you can put it outside or use it as a table. You have a customizable awning, as well as you get these multifunctional extensions that are stored at the foot of the bed and can double as tables or benches. You get electrical outlets with 12 volts or 24 volt ports. You get dimmable touch LEDs, and these lights are both interior and exterior and are activated by your touch. It has something called routable pathways, and these make it easy to add your own accessories or add your own kind of plumbing. And finally, you get a bunch of wall storage. Now, the bed is a Murphy bed that sleeps two, and when it's put away, you have standing room of 8 feet. You really get a ton of customization inside this thing to make it kind of however you want. Now, this works with your truck's battery, giving you weeks of auxiliary camping power. It has a base weight of 470 pounds. The mattress is 4-inch memory foam. And again, you can have this all for the low price of $24,000. And the way the reservation works in terms of your priority for getting one of these depends on the size of your down payment. So if you put down $10,000, you're in the first priority for getting one of these. Whereas if you put down $100, you're in last priority. Next up is something called the Cybercat, and this one is way out there. This one comes in at $22,900 all the way up to $32,900. Basically what this does is make your Cybertruck amphibious. This one I have a very hard time believing anyone is ever going to buy, simply because why? But I really hope I'm proven wrong here. Now, they say one person can set this whole thing up and get ready to go in the time it takes someone to back the boat in the water and launch it. All the parts can be folded and put into the back of your Cybertruck. There are multiple sensors, power data connections, and pressure transducers, digitally verifying that this is all put together properly. All the contact points on this that connect to your Cybertruck are in the same place as all the lift points, and then it will automatically tension to the right spec to keep it nice and firm to your Cybertruck. Now, this is amphibious, which means it can go in the water and on land, and when it's all in its folded up state, so the motors are up, the pontoons are up and everything, it has a 12-inch clearance, which is pretty impressive. And then once you're in the water, the pontoons or the motors and all that will fold into the water and you'll be able to go and motor around, I guess. All of these motors are going to be powered by the battery of your Cybertruck. It actually plugs right in to the same port that you charge your Cybertruck from. So here are the specs for the basic Cybercat. The top speed is 25 miles an hour. It has a range of 115 miles if you're going 6 miles per hour, or 50 miles if you're going 15 miles per hour. And the horsepower is 335. The price depends on whether you choose 1 or 5 of the available 50 kilowatt motors, so it ranges between $22,900 to $32,900. But I want to know, why, man? Who's buying this? You can buy a very good bass boat or wakeboarding boat or something else for that price. And you can tow it behind your Cybertruck and keep your electric vehicle on land. Now, there's another version of this called the Cybertruck Foiler that actually lifts the Cybertruck out of the water as it's going. So you still got the pontoons and then the other stuff going on, but this just sort of lifts it out of the water, I guess. There's very little information on it. Probably because it's never going to actually be built. But if it does, it will have a top speed of 40 miles per hour, have a range of 75 miles at 25 miles per hour, or 115 miles at 6 miles per hour, and it will cost between $35,400 and $42,900. So I guess here's the whole concept. You wake up one morning, you decide, you know what? I want to take my Cybertruck off for a drive, but I'm sick and tired of being on the road. I want to drive it in the water. So you load it all up in the back of your truck, you drive it down to the boat launch, you get out of the boat launch, you tell everybody behind you, hold on a second while you unload everything, you put it on the ground, you lay it out, you install it in your truck, and what they claim is the same amount of time to launch a boat. Not a chance. You go out in the water, you do some fishing off the back, you hang out, and when you're done, you drive it back up on land, everything folds up, you then get out of your truck, put it all back inside of the back, and you head on back home. I can't wrap my head around this one. And I have to say, I love the very first question in the frequently asked questions, which is, are you serious? Or is this some sort of like a joke? In which case their response is, yes, we will prove that we are serious. Now I want to take a second and thank each and every one of you guys who have already subscribed and gone down and hit that like button for me. That helps me more than you could possibly know. And if you're watching for the first time and you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing, but at the very least, go down and hit that like button. Now let's move forward. Okay, so next, we're going to something called the Cyberlander, and this is one we saw very early on in the process when the Cybertruck was announced. And this one comes in at $54,995. And no, believe it or not, this is not the most expensive one we're going to be talking about today. There is one more. Now, the Cyberlander is a more advanced version of a pop-out camper type sleeping thing for the back of the Cybertruck, but it's very well thought out. This completely fits into the bed of the Cybertruck, and you can even close it on top of it, which allows you to go through drive-thrus and park in garages and things of that nature. And then when you want to use it, it literally just pops straight up, and you have this sort of functioning living space. It's equipped with something called Sunflare modules, which are apparently one of the best things for getting solar through shade. The doors on this actually slide, giving you the best efficiency as well as best use of space. It comes with surround sound audio. It has radiant flooring to make you kind of feel like you're at home with a warm floor. You get a kitchen with the sink and stone countertop and a compressor fridge. You get an indoor recirculating shower that contains a dry toilet. You get pivoting tables that swivel and can be locked or put away in seconds. And these are great because they sit next to you when you're in your bed that folds into a chair. So you can do some work, or you can flip it out to eat, or whatever you need it for. You get a smart TV that will obviously run on Starlink. When it's time for bed, the chairs come up and lay flat on top of the kitchen counter, giving you a nice big surface for 2 people to sleep. You even get electronically tinted windows. There's lots of headroom for you to stand up and do whatever you're gonna do in there. And you can have this all today, as I mentioned, for a beautiful price of $54,995. And as far as reservation goes, there's a $100 reservation fee. So down below in the comments, how many of you guys have reserved one of these and are going to pay $54,000 for for this very small camper that goes into the back of your Cybertruck. And last up, the most expensive, I guessed, accessory comes in at $64,500. And that is something called the Form Camper. And this one is just crazy. Now, they're cool, but they're 64. Okay, so this one is a camper like we've been seeing. This one is different though. You kind of back into this one like your normal camper you would normally see on any other truck on the road, put it onto the back of your Cybertruck and drive off. Honestly, I would more describe this as a portable house that you sort of transport from one location to another. You just sort of drive it to your campsite, back it into position, put the legs down, and then you can actually drive your Cybertruck away, leaving your house where it was. You get 195 square feet. That's bigger than some tiny homes. You get a living room, you get a kitchen, you get a bathroom. Your kitchen can either be indoor or outdoor. You get a Nebia shower, a domestic fridge and stove. You get an elevated sleeping area that looks into your kitchen and bathroom and shower area. The whole thing weighs about 1,000 pounds. And like I said, when it's all set up, you can take your truck, go off to some park or go do fishing, leave, and then come back. Whereas a lot of the options have to go with you. It has solar arrays providing 400 watts of power. The shell around the whole thing is made of carbon fiber with aluminum honeycomb, keeping it strong and lightweight. And this I think is really cool. You actually get this reverse osmosis water filtration system, enabling 2 times water storage to use, meaning that you have a 50-gallon tank, but you actually get to use 100. There's a fan on the top and the bottom giving you air circulation. And oh yes, this doesn't only fit the Cybertruck. You can put this in like the F-150 or the Silverado. And the way they did the pricing on this is actually quite interesting. It's all dependent on the size of the down payment. If you put down $10,000, you actually save $20,000. So I think we can all agree these are pretty crazy, and who's actually going to buy these? But the fact that they are selling them and they are serious about them means they must have some sort of interest. So I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. What do you think about these? Who do you think is buying these? Have any of you guys watching this video reserved any of these? And if so, what inspired you to spend that money on this? That's going to wrap this one up, and I'll see you guys on the next one.